Welcome to the Las Vegasville podcast, brought to you by Jump Studios, where we cover topics related to everything happening around Sin City, including the social media scene, food, and a whole lot more, with some of the best, most popular accounts around the city, and talk about their success in Vegas and beyond. I'm your host, Philip Zhang, aka Las Vegas Phil. Check me out on IG or TikTok, and feel free to text or leave me a voicemail at 702-551-4445. On with the show. Welcome to this week's episode, which is kind of different as we're just going straight into tackling the biggest news in Vegas food social media and possibly the biggest Vegas social media news around right now, which is what's gone down specifically with Jennifer Gay, aka Vegas Starfish, and Lindsay Stewart, the Las Vegas foodie, two of the most accomplished social media accounts around. And honestly, how many people get to sit at a table with Jen and Lindsay just to chat? I love it, and thanks to you guys for taking the time out with your insane schedules to be here and surviving the wind of 2023.
Yes. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
It's so nice to be sitting here with all of you. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Very cool.
This is like...
Aww.
I know, right? Yeah. Jen recently broke 1 million followers on TikTok. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Was she the first one? I think
No.
you were.
There's a few now.
No, Daniel and Drew both.
Both hit 1 million.
Oh, Hooks hit 1 million?
No,
Daniel, Donkey.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Damien will hit it
That's right.
this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
He should hit it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets around to posting. So Keith Lee remains the biggest news around, and he recently saw both of your posts, which then motivated him to check out the places you posted. We're going to go do a little timeline right now to quite a bit that led up to the big Sunday night post by Jen. Lindsay, you went to Dominic Ansel and then posted on IG on February 1st. And then he saw it on IG.
Yes.
And then stitched it from your IG video.
Yeah.
This was
interesting.
interesting.
Saw it on IG?
Yeah, I'd never posted on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
I forgot to post it on TikTok.
Gosh, everyone's watching everything.
Right? Yeah. And this was interesting because Emily, aka Email Las Vegas, took a selfie with Keith at Dominic Ansel, which when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna review it, so is he gonna stitch you from IG? That? Yeah, I was wondering. And then he did. And then, so I don't know. The review wasn't that bad for Dominic Ansel. I mean, a couple things.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
But it made it sound like it was way worse. I mean, my comments were like, this is horrible. Can Keith we trust? And just really came at me like it wasn't great, right?
Right. And it took a lot for them to get to your account because, you know, they had to type in your account first to search you instead of just clicking like on an average stitch.
Oh, he tagged me.
Oh, he did tag you?
Yeah, he
Okay.
tagged me. But I didn't post the video there on TikTok, so I waited like an extra day, and then the comments came in.
So what was that like?
I mean, I think I texted you first, and then you texted me right away, right? Like right after. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I thought it was great. It just I'm like questioning myself. I'm like, wait, was it bad? But no, it was fantastic. I think we've been looking forward to that opening for a while. I missed the opening. I really wanted to go. So excited. And then I just kind of felt like my review went flat because of that. But I was very excited for him to stitch me. Like that was my first like, oh my gosh, he stitched. I've never been stitched, by him before, which was exciting.
Yeah, if there's a badge of honor for food social media right now, it's definitely a Keith Lee stitch.
Oh, 100%.
For sure, right. So the comments start flooding in, and then you were motivated to
post my video.
Right, post a video,
yeah.
and then also do a reply.
And then I did a reply later, right?
Right.
I was kind of in the heat of the moment. I'm
okay.
Like, listen, everyone, his taste buds aren't, mean everything. Like if you're not going to try this food because he doesn't like it, then they're missing out, So it's another way for him to talk about it in his own way. But it's also like these people can have a mind of their own too. It's like everyone, right? You're not just going to go with one person or one person's opinion on something.
It's also important to remember that Keith doesn't like sweet things. He doesn't like gummy things, soft things. He doesn't do seafood. He doesn't drink alcohol. So he is and he tells people that. It's not like he's trying to say like, I am the definition of anything. He says, these are my opinions. Mm-hmm. It's my taste buds. I don't like the things that you might. And as someone who struggles with the texture of raw fish, I completely relate because everyone, kind of raw fish is a big part of the foodie world. And I've had to really work on liking it and I'm getting there.
Good job, Jen.
Thanks.
You've come a long way. I got to give you credit.
Yeah.
So, to his credit, he tells people up front, this is not my jam. I'm probably not going to like it, but you might. But the sort of mentality behind his followers, it's wild.
But I agree. He says that all the time.
Right.
I don't like overly sweet things. And he felt like that chai latte was really bland. And he said that, but he was addicted to it.
Right.
Because it's not supposed to have a ton of sugar in it.
Right.
And just like any French pastry doesn't have a lot of sugar anyway. It's not American sweet. But I mean, like, he doesn't have to even say that. It's his taste buds. It's the way he likes it. It's how he described it. But I do like how he gives that disclaimer. He says it all the time.
Right.
But I feel like people miss that. Or do they miss that? I don't know.
They just ignore it.
Like they ignore it. They don't think about it.
I don't know.
I think, and I don't know if this is the right time in the conversation to go into it, but I think what we're experiencing is a phenomenon. Keith is amazing.
Yes.
But it's bigger than Keith. It's more that people want to be part of something. And so in anything, there's going to be some duality to that. There's going to be people who have purely altruistic motives and people who just want to be part of a movement. And so people got really hyped up by the idea of changing businesses overnight and creating these sort of like 4-hour lines and massive media frenzies. And as much as they love Keith, they love being part of that and saying, I went to Frankincense the day after. I went to 303 in the cut and stood in line, because it makes them feel like they're not only part of this community, but that they are somehow adjacent to this phenomenon. Unfortunately, you've got people who are just as quick to enjoy the drama and the fireworks and the sparks of let's burn it down, let's close that business, let's destroy it. And even though that's not the intention or what Keith wants or what any of us want, there's always going to be that.
Yeah.
And something, Keith's only been I know he's been around a long time, but he's only been dealing with this level of sort of popularity and influence since early December. And he's still very much learning how to harness that and how to wield it positively in some cases, but not allow it to be, dangerous. So
I feel like he does a great job too. I think, and he's really smart. I think he articulates things very well and describes things. And I know we're going to go into it, but the reaction video after, I think was, to both of us, but mostly to you, saying, how people don't go attack people. We're not going to get people fired from restaurants. I thought that was really great of him to immediately post that. Right. But I want to hear what you have to say.
It was amazing. Yeah, let's get into it now. So Sunday night, everything kind of climaxed with Jen's reply, kind of face-to-face post, which went wild. From her Pepper Club post that she posted on February 1st, which Keith then stitched, ended up getting happy hour items and didn't have the greatest experience.
Right, which I want to address that. So he went into Pepper Club at 3:01 p.m. They stopped serving brunch at 3. He asked the girl on the phone, who is a young girl, may I order some brunch items? And she said, no, brunch is closed. And then he waited for her to offer something else. But Pepper Club has a brunch window and then a dinner window. And then in between that, it's just a lounge. They have a couple small plates, but they're not doing like a full service meal. And I don't think Keith understood that because he'd never been there before. And I think he was waiting for the girl on the phone to say, but we have lunch or dinner or whatever. And she didn't. And he perceived that as she didn't want to help me. And he made a comment about that the customer service was a little off. He didn't say it was terrible. He didn't say it was horrible. He didn't say they were rude to him, just that it wasn't great. And his followers took that to mean that they somehow slighted him. And that snowballed into this massive, we will burn the restaurant down. Yes. Because they were so upset that they felt like he was treated poorly. And that's not what happened. It was a massive miscommunication. So there wasn't bad customer service. It just, the girl didn't understand what was being asked of her. And then in addition to that, the food he ordered, and this is something I tried to convey in the comments, but it came across as classist. And I misspoke, and I have learned a lot about how to respond. Because my knee-jerk reaction, first of all, my humor is very deadpan. It's very sarcastic. It's very blunt. And that doesn't translate well to text. It doesn't even translate well to people who know me well, but much less people who don't and are wanting to have an issue, So I made the comment that this is not a struggling food truck. It's not his target restaurant. This is a chef-curated cuisine that's meant to be served, on the the plate in front of you in the restaurant. Sauces, they separate. Fried food becomes soggy. Like, some things are not meant to be eaten out of a to-go container.
Right.
Totally.
It changes the integrity of the food, and especially in a place like Pepper Club, the food is meant to be part of an experience that includes the aesthetic, the ambiance, the service, the glassware, the plateware. It's all part of it. So when you put it in a cardboard box and you drive 30 minutes home and you sit down, you turn your camera on, you eat it, and it's soggy, it's not going to be as great as it would be in the restaurant. So he didn't love some of the dishes, and that's totally fine. But the way that he relayed his opinion about it, along with the customer service, caused an absolute frenzy. And I received over 10,000 DMs, messages, comments, a lot of them incredibly hateful.
That's horrible.
And a lot of them
To you?
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there were people coming on and saying, you know that this is not her restaurant. She just did a review. And people were like, we don't care. She says it's good. She's obviously a liar. She's obviously a fraud.
How I felt too.
She obviously, is being paid to review it. And they didn't pay me for that video. Like, that I had done, if you look at my account history, I had done the ube French toast
A while ago.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I have worked with Pepper Club, full disclosure, but that video was my own creation. And I genuinely like that product. So it kind of created like a frenzy, and I was very upset. And I have a relationship with Keith. We started talking before he blew up in the spirit of doing some collaboration. And then he got too busy too quickly, and we weren't able to make it materialize. But he's stitched me now like
how many
4 or
times?
5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know.
We go back and forth. We have a real quick email response time. A great relationship. And when this happened, he called me, and he'd never called me before. I don't even know how he got my number. I think I probably gave it to him somewhere, but like, we weren't texting. And he called me, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not. This is awful.
This is horrible.
And in a moment of anxiety, I said, please don't ever stitch me again. Please. Good, bad.
Yeah.
I don't want your name and my name hitched together if this is what's going to happen to me. And he said, okay. And then he took it upon himself, without discussing it with me or anything, to reach out to Pepper Club and say, can I come back in and make this right? Fix me the food in the manner that it was meant to be consumed. Let me come try your brunch. Let me speak to the girl that was on the phone. And he did this whole amazing, spent his entire Sunday going back to Pepper Club, meeting with Chef Roman, speaking to the girl who answered the phone. No one asked him to do that.
I know, that's pretty cool.
Incredible.
Yeah. And
Considering how busy he is, sorry.
right. No, by all means. And while that was going on, I made my response video just to let people know that this is not a Keith Lee problem. This isn't a Vegas Starfish problem. This is the mentality of, we have this tremendous power where I think we've all created lines at restaurants at this point, and it feels
So
good.
nice.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling.
It's amazing when a restaurant calls you and says, oh, your video blew us up or whatever. Especially since 99.9% of the time we're not paid, and often coming out of pocket for it.
Especially, yep.
Yeah.
Maturity and all that.
So, yeah, for sure. So to have it go the other way was devastating emotionally. And then to see the Google reviews, which Pepper Club was able to get removed,
Great.
which is
Wow.
amazing. I don't know.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Google saw his stitch.
Well, Google reached out to Keith and was like, what is going on? And
Stop.
This is Mr. Google.
I know.
Right.
What the heck? Really?
And so they said they're going to remove everything from the last 48 hours, good and bad. And they did,
Wow.
which is
Start
amazing.
over.
Yeah, because I guess this is kind of a thing where, the mob
Influencers.
and
Wow.
mentality takes over. So,
Never heard of that.
so anyway, I reached out to Pepper Club and I was like, guys, I don't know if you know, but be warned that it's going to be weird for a minute.
Oh,
and
you told him before.
I did. Yeah. After Keith's video, I knew what was coming for them. So I said, it's going to get weird. And they were like, okay, well, we know our service is good. We know our food is good. We're just going to have to trust that
People.
like we were busy yesterday. We'll be busy tomorrow. The people that were online, like kind of calling for the downfall of Pepper Club, they weren't eating there the day before, and they weren't going to eat there the next week.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
it-
not going
ever.
there.
Right. It
Yeah.
wasn't their customer base. So this isn't the same as someone who is their customer base going in and saying, I had a terrible experience. So they said, we're just going to trust that our excellent service and excellent food will stand on its own. And I said, okay, you have a lot more faith than I do, because I've seen this in slow motion.
Oh no.
So, but Keith did an excellent amount of damage control. I made a video just kind of letting people know that like the bullying isn't acceptable because we had just had a dinner at Pepper Club.
I know, and I was gonna make a video on that too because out of the 3 spots, I was ready to make that little dish because the ambiance and everything was so good.
It's such a cool spot.
I loved it, and then all that happened. But anyway, we had a dinner.
But we had a dinner, and we were talking at the dinner about how we don't mind a negative review, but what we don't like is being attacked. Because I don't think that there's any one of us that aren't nice people who are just trying to do something we love doing.
Yeah.
And, so to have people come at us and say that there's an agenda or it's just overwhelming emotionally and everything else. So anyway, I reached out to Keith. He did this amazing response to my response, and it was instantaneous. It shifted.
Yeah,
and the
nice.
comments coming in are, we love Pepper Club and we think it's amazing, which is also problematic
Right.
if we're being honest.
Those people probably have never been. No.
Right, they're in St. Louis just typing.
Yeah.
"I love
Right.
Pepper
Like
Club."
from Kansas, we love that French toast,
Hasn't been open that long. No.
But it's wild. It's wild to see this thing that is, occurring within and it's relatively new because I don't think we ever experienced this before. Even when we would disagree and like post like, oh, I didn't think it was great. Like no one cared.
Yeah.
No, not like
No
this.
one said like, oh, Phil said this was bad or good
Right,
or whatever.
yeah,
No
like,
one said
in Phil
anything
we
like
trust.
that. Yeah. Over the whole thing.
Right. But Keith has been in contact with me the entire time, has been incredibly supportive and awesome. Like the big takeaway here needs to be that he is everything that he appears to be.
I agree with that.
He's a kind and generous person who is navigating this just as much as
We are,
Yeah.
if not more, because
Yeah.
he's just pretty new. And he reached out to me too. He just sent a DM to me we had talked before. I had thanked him for stitching me. And then he just randomly sent another message because I was like, I don't know if I should DM him and say like, oh, that kind of feels weird that you did that to my video. Like I'm not getting like the love because I felt like I was the first negative stitch.
Like one of the things I do, I started it to be funny, is to say that everything's the best. Like, this is the best taco in Las Vegas. And then like a week later, this is the best taco in Las Vegas. Because I was initially
Can't
like,
really do that, yeah.
yeah, kind of like, and then there'd be someone be like, did you try them all? How do you know? And I was like, clearly I'm like kind of being sarcastic, but that's kind of how we have to be careful about saying like, oh, this sashimi is disgusting. It tastes like salmon. You know what I mean? Like if you can't speak to it, you could really damage the business.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that damaged Nevada
I was
worked.
just gonna say, do we know if they got busy after that? And I was gonna ask, you speak to Pepper Club pretty closely, so like, did they get busy from that? You think, or busier because they're already busy?
When Keith went in, it was standing room only. So I don't. They
first
were
time?
already busy,
Yeah.
so it's very hard to judge. But I do watch Open Table to see availability for like restaurants that I've done videos on to see if I'm having an impact.
That's smart. That's a good way to
That
do
is
it.
smart.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Good
there are
tips.
no reservations available.
That's nice.
Yeah, so
Have you
But there's
seen
something
the
said about
manager?
negative reviews and how wildly entertaining they can be.
Yeah.
And, an example is your Circus video. Like, people, I'm sure people went.
Is that your #1 video ever?
no, it's 5 worst hotels.
That's
yeah.
you just posted that recently.
I post it every quarter as a reminder because I
That'd
feel
be a
very
great stitch.
strongly
I
about
stayed
it.
at all 5 terrible hotels because of starfish.
There's someone on YouTube who did that recently. Who was like, I went and stayed at the 5 worst hotels in Vegas, but they didn't tag me.
Oh,
like,
come on.
bro,
Where's
I
the
would've-
credit?
I would have reposted you. You know.
Damn.
So yeah.
So we don't know. And also, can I just say one thing? I did reach out, only like today, but I did email the marketing to Caesars, and I was like, can you tell me if they got busy from that negative review? But
see, that's the thing, and I wish we could test this because I have a theory that the Keith Lee effect is very niche. And if you have a food truck, a pizzeria, a wing spot, or any sort of kind of like quick casual concept, there is no better marketing engine in the world. But do I think that same group was going to go spend $85 on some Jello-y cherries
He
at
didn't
Dominique Ansel? No, I don't think they were ever going to, even if he loved it. Like maybe a few of them were, but I don't think that's not how he built his following.
Yeah, true.
And so like for me, if I do lifestyle content, it flops. Like if I'm like, get ready with me, which no one wants to get ready with
Wait,
me.
you haven't done that
Ever. But when I do,
you should do it.
No.
I
when I
see it.
when
I,
I do,
I would love it. I would love it too, personally.
when I
I
do,
think everybody would love it.
The stunning hair, come on. Everyone's asking.
But when I veer off, and like you, if you were to go in and be like, these are the best potato chips, people would be
no one
like,
would care.
no.
Absolutely.
But he does snack reviews. He
Potato
does
chips.
quick casual. You know, when people took it as a slight when I said this isn't a struggling food truck, I wasn't slighting him. That's literally his demographic. You know, like people watch him for like the to-go food. They want to eat it at home with their family. That's his whole brand.
Yeah.
So when he represents someone like Dominique Ansel, even if he said it was amazing, that isn't his following.
Sure. Yeah, that's true. He doesn't do that all the time.
Right. So we should do some market study to see.
How would we do that? I think we've been trying to figure that out for years.
Well, a couple owners that I talked to about, I mean, the place that Keith went to, a couple of them did not actually get as much traffic despite the millions of reviews.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
Where?
there's
We
that.
can't say which ones.
can't say.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also a good percentage of his following is not. I had someone kind of come at me in my DMs and they were like, Keith is so much more powerful than you. And I was like, absolutely, without question, Keith Lee is more powerful than I am. Not arguing that. But I would argue that you and I are more niche Vegas because he did the Chipotle, he did the Five Guys, he did the
Wingstop, Domino's.
Wingstop,
Just
yeah.
Domino's, yeah.
And he's put on, he was at like 4 million-ish when I first talked to him in early December.
Wow,
And
that's
he's,
all.
yeah, so he's put on like 7 million in 3 months. And the majority of that's going to be national brand. Good Morning America, Chipotle, you know, so he's outgrown us in a way. Even though he's still very present and still involved in the community and doing things, I would argue that the bulk of his following are not living in North Vegas and Henderson and Summerlin and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so they don't have the ability to go into Dominique Ansel, you know? He did a video for Pickle Me Everything, which he ended up retracting because I guess she wasn't following food safety
Total
protocols.
shit show, yeah.
But she sold like
A bunch.
$100,000 worth of product off of his video, and that's a shipped product. So I believe that his power at this point is more national than it is localized.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's still, you know, let's look at Frankincense. 3 months, it's still been, I mean, I can't verify that. He just said that. 3 months, it's still packed to line out the door. But he said that and I'm taking this from his new podcast that he just did with Steve on Stage. Did you listen to that? Kev on Stage.
Kev on
Sorry,
Stage,
Kev
yeah.
on Stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that Frankincense now has a little spot in their restaurant for luggage because people, as soon as they get off the plane, they go straight there.
Incredible.
That's nuts. So yeah, I mean, I feel
From a
like,
national
and maybe
awareness.
that's what's keeping it. I don't know though. I haven't been there. I haven't talked to him. Is the owner Steve of Frankincense? No, I don't
know.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
none of us know.
None of us have
Has
been.
anyone
I don't want
been?
to wait in line.
No. I know no one wants to wait in line.
Yeah.
No, not in the freezing snow anyway.
So I feel like we glazed over your post on Sunday night. I mean, I think for us, it was very heartfelt.
Yes.
I watched it multiple times and it got better every time.
Oh, thanks.
And can you talk to me about when you made the decision and you shooting that? I mean, did you write it all out or you just spoke from the heart? How did that all go?
No, so as I've mentioned, and you guys know, I'm good friends with the owner of Lip Smacking Foodie Tours, Donald Contursi. And so sometimes before I'm going to do something that I think is potentially risky, I'll message him and be like, what do you think about this? And so I messaged him and I said, I think I'm going to go on camera and do a post because I feel like it'll get people's attention because I don't do that format. And I said, what do you think about this? And he's like, that's a bold choice. He said, I don't really see a reason not to. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'll send it to you and see what you think about it first. Wow. And he was like, okay, cool, because he's a good friend and he'll take time to review it. So I sat down and I filmed it. And then as soon as I finished it, I posted it and I said, you know what? I'm not going to script this. I'm not going to make it weird. I'm not going to come across with an agenda. I'm going to shoot it in I know it was 50 shots, but I was just moving around my bedroom for lighting purposes.
And you were having an epic hair day.
Yeah, thanks.
Side
I actually
note.
was going to get my hair done that morning anyway, so I was like, this is the day. This is the day to do
But I
it.
do it. I know that feeling.
So I didn't send it to him, and then I sent it to him and a link afterwards. And I was like, what do you think? And he's like, well, I would take that out and that out. And I was like, dude, that's live. Like, I just posted it. And he was like, oh, best of luck.
Oh, no. That's what you want to hear when you're posting such a video.
Right. But I was really aiming for how I felt. And it wasn't Keith that inspired it as much as it was my conversations with you and Cody. I had spent a day or two before the whole day with Cody. And we really talked about how this is more than just jobs. You know, this is something that we are all very emotionally invested in. And we really take our authenticity and our hard work seriously. So when you get attacked, it's very isolating. And even though the whole creator community is very supportive of each other, you also know they're sitting there with popcorn, like, let's see what happens next. So I was like, you know what? I have a unique position of having one of the largest platforms. I'm going to talk about it.
And you did it.
And so we talked about it. And then I sent it to her and Cody right away. And I was like, woo, you know, and they were like, no, that's good.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
And
So
it
eloquently
felt
put.
so
No
good.
one else could have said it better.
Nobody.
Thank you.
You were
I
like,
appreciate that.
the way you
Outstanding.
speak, I've always said it too. You say it perfectly. It's smooth. It feels good. It sounds good. And you're so smart. Like, it comes off.
Thank you.
You
I
know?
appreciate that. But yeah, so it just needed to be said. And I feel like if a micro creator had come out and said, you know, I feel bullied or whatever, it doesn't carry as much weight because it's just like, oh, boo-hoo, you know, you got 14 comments. But I had a significant amount of comments. And if I'm feeling that way, even though the craziest thing to me was how many people come at me and they're like, you should credit Keith for your career. And I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
come
I
on.
was this before him.
Just a little bit before him.
But I will also say that the entire time this is going on in the public, I've got Keith in my email and my phone calls saying, like, what do you need? How can I make you feel more comfortable? How can I make
Oh
you feel
my
better? Like,
God. That's
he's
amazing.
genuinely wonderful. So it's just weird. This is something we all have to learn to navigate.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is this the start of it? Like, how is this going to go later on? Because that's not something we've ever done to each other.
No, we've all been kind of on the
cordial.
same team. But I also feel like Keith is bringing a lot of people into our market that have never
known or
really engaged with any of us before, because it is national branding and it is parts of Vegas that maybe aren't watching the $1,000 deboned fish, you know, videos and
that
stuff
should
like
be,
that.
but
Yeah, we'll get them on our side.
yeah.
But it's ridiculous that after one stitch, 3 seconds, they judged your whole life
Yeah.
based on nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And it's insane.
Crazy.
Because to me, you guys are the shining examples of what influencers, foodies should be in town. So it blows my mind. But on a larger scale, you know, you look at like Taylor Swift or Beyonce or Ariana Grande, like they have crazy fans who have that mom mentality, unfortunately. And
That's true.
as Keith gets bigger or whoever gets bigger, you know, I don't know if it's going to end. What do you,
Yeah,
what do you
no,
think?
it's wild. Is it Selena Gomez that just had to come out and explain
yeah.
why she gained weight? Like,
Why do you have to do that?
why can
I
you?
know.
Oh my gosh, can't imagine. That's why I don't put myself on camera,
attacked.
because I don't have to tell people like why I chose an eyeshadow color. But it is crazy and it is bigger. And anytime I post my face anywhere, I'll get the creepy comments
Of
and I'll
course.
get, you know. So I just don't do it.
Yeah, it's hard. You did it a lot though during the pandemic. You would stitch. Remember?
Yeah,
I'm like telling you. You remember?
That's how I started. Yeah, and I thought I was going to go that way, but then I would get messages that were like, "I really love your voice, but your face."
Oh,
you know,
ever
and
say
Come
that?
on.
but people do.
Yeah.
And so I was
People
just
can
like,
be
you know
really
what? I'm going to go behind the camera. I'm going to keep
just
something
easier.
sacred, and you know, I'll show the kiddos every once in a while. But even my big kid, he's had some health things that caused him to gain about 10 pounds. He's 9. And I got messages from people saying that, you know, oh, he's well fed. And it's like, you don't get to do that. Like,
Yeah, no,
I
you could
will
never say
find
that.
you if you talk about my children.
Yeah.
Mama
So,
bear.
yeah, so and I'm surprised that you put as much of yourself out there as
Me
you
too,
do.
because I'm very self-conscious. But it helps me get over that too. Every time I hold the camera, I'm so scared for my life. I mean, I'm just scared, not for my
But
life.
you appear so
I'm just so
confident.
like,
It seems like second nature.
it's
Yeah.
really nice because sometimes I'm like, I just rambled and I said is where R should be used. My friend always makes fun of me for that. I always say is where R. Anyway, and I'm like, I just didn't make sense. Whatever, post.
Yeah.
thank you, but yeah.
It takes a lot of trust and confidence to put yourself out there like that, I think.
Thanks.
You don't really put yourself on camera very
Not
much. Either.
really.
Yeah.
But
I want
everyone
to see
knows who
that.
you are.
Well, you know why. The thumb.
I think it's your profile photo. I mean, you're just the glasses, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't put yourself on there like enough. I always say that.
You think?
You don't either, because I feel like the way you spoke to everybody about this experience was like an eye opening for so many people. You know?
Well, I've decided I'm only gonna use that when like we really
to.
need to listen
Throw down
because
that
it did get
card.
more attention than normal, and I think that's because people were just like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what is going on here?" So, but the Keith Lee thing it had just kind of crossed the line. Cody expressed to me that you had been very upset, and that's why I texted you.
it was pretty.
Yeah, and I don't like to hear that any
Thanks,
of us.
Cody. Local.living.
Yeah, local. Yeah,
Local.living.
Yeah.
At local.living, Cody.
But she expressed that you had a really tough time, and Cody herself expressed some anxiety over like you want to be stitched by Keith, but you don't.
You want to be the good stuff.
Because you don't want them to come for you, and so I was just like, "That's it. We're gonna say something," and it went well.
Yeah, we texted
Right after.
Right after as well.
Yeah.
And it hurt me that it hurt you that much.
Well, I mean, it's just like, I think what you said, like we've been doing this for how long? Like we've been doing this for so long. It's our whole life. And when all of a sudden you get these comments saying you're paid, this is a sponsored post, you're a fraud, you're like, hold on, like this is my name. This is who we are. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be a fraud or be a sponsored post. Like I was like, how is this a sponsored post when I told you they invited me and I paid to get more food? No one's paying me. Anyway, it's tough. It really hurts you when you feel like all that hard work just comes down in a second. It feels like that.
The other elephant in the room that no one's saying because it's such a weird thing to tackle is a lot of the comments. I don't know how yours were, but a lot of mine were saying that I came across as classist, that my reaction was rooted in race. You think this or you think that, none of which of these things did I think. Or you're just arguing with him because, or you're trying to steal credit from because. And it got really ugly because anytime someone takes it, it makes it personal or about ethnicity or about money or about education level or socioeconomic anything, then you're going to have people that get defensive. And so, and I got defensive too, because I guess where I messed up is when I said this isn't a struggling food truck, I was implying, oh, we're better than that, which I was just saying it's different, So it got kind of ugly, and there were very much people that were like, "Oh, you're too good to eat from a to-go container." Like I literally DoorDash every night. Like I Del Taco'd at 11 last night, so like I'm not above anything. But it came across that way because here I am as the representative of this like ube stuffed French toast, And and then the Filipino community came for me because I didn't say.
I read some of the comments and they were
What'd they
gold.
say?
They were like, "Why didn't you give the Filipino community credit for ube?" And I was like, "I didn't know that we were unaware. Like I thought, like I don't go through and be like, and this starch is from this country." And they were like, "Well, you gave the Japanese credit for the bread, but you didn't give the Filipino community credit for the ube." And I was like, "I'm gonna have to get longer form content."
I know.
Like,
That's a YouTube
imagine?
long format
You know
video.
but I mean, I guess if you're in the Filipino community and you feel like ube is you grew up on it and it's nostalgic to you, I can see why that would matter. But like, I didn't think about that because I thought everyone knew,
It's been kind of around for a little while.
Right. Like it's very trendy. It's very popular. And then I had people that were like, it's not even real ube. It's taro that's been dyed. And I was like, I don't
know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So-
your replies, you replied to so many of them. And I thought
They were
it was
great.
great.
I had like
funny or well thought out.
between 3 and 4 a.m. I had a moment where I just told everyone, stay mad, stay mad, stay mad.
Copy paste.
So
I know I saw a comment and you're like, you said, or they said something about you getting so mad. And you're like, well, wouldn't you get mad? I'm sorry I had a moment. I was being attacked. Am I not allowed to be upset?
And I didn't sleep. And there was like, once everyone went to bed and I stopped getting supportive text messages and I started drinking espresso, like shit fell apart. And I was just like, "Ugh," like you wish you could have ube stuffed French toast, and like it got ugly.
It's hard. It's hard to like go through that and comment back
and
to
then
everyone.
it did become classist, and I was like, go eat some wings, and like, but then I went through and I deleted them, but it was too late because when you have these interactions with people, they remember that. Whereas me, I'm interacting with 40,000
Yeah,
people.
you're not thinking about the individual.
So, but I did put on like 12,000 followers, so that was cool.
Oh, that's great.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
just doing it for the views.
Yeah.
No, it was a wild ride. Did you pick up or lose followers?
I had looked at it and I had only had like 500 followers. I only gained like 500 followers from that, and I'm like, oh, that's fine.
But you didn't really like snap back at anyone, did you?
No, not really. I mean, I do
A little bit.
I do a little bit in the comment. I
Yeah.
usually do, which is not good. I know. Case my husband's like, don't do like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? You don't need to do that.
One of
They
the
were good.
things
They were good replies. I
mean, I
thought
just-
I went through them.
I can't help it.
Yeah.
I can't either. One of the things Keith said on the phone with me, the only thing he said that was like remotely condemning me, it wasn't condemning me, I shouldn't say that because his people will come for me again. He said, I'm not going to tell you how to handle your business, but maybe when you fight back with them, if you dial that back a little bit, like, and I was like, I know. He's like, I saw you, like, because I was ready to take them all on in the
Yeah.
comments, and he was like, just ignore them. He's like, block.
He said he blocks them, right?
Yeah, he said block everyone who comes for you. If they're rude, if they're disrespectful, they are not worth your time or energy. Block them. He's like, I will block them too. Like, he was very professional, and he was like, could you not tell them to stay mad?
I was telling you. I like that. Just block them because what do you need that?
No,
tools
he's
for?
definitely more emotionally mature than I am.
I know.
so-
And he's only 26.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh, yeah, that's
He's been through a
wild.
lot
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, yeah, but he was like, if you could just calm down a little bit. I was like, yeah, okay.
How many
your
comments
phone
did you end
away.
up deleting?
Thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah, I was deleting them as fast. I would respond. I would wait until they would acknowledge it, and then I would delete it because I wanted them to see it.
Oh,
Sure.
It was
Jen.
petty on it, like. And then the next morning,
busy.
I got up and I was full of regret because no one wants to be like that. But it's, my platform feels like my home.
Yeah,
and
it
so
is
when
our home.
people come into your home and tell you you suck,
Yeah, it's not like you're like get out of here.
go through all the grief stages, So.
We touched upon this on the last episode we did about Keith and the Keith Lee effect. We rarely see accounts this big and wildly popular do or say things that may be viewed as unfavorable. But like he said, he needs to stay true to himself. This is what got him here. I respect the hell out of that. But it's going to be really tricky waters as he becomes even more popular. Because, Taylor Swift goes to a restaurant. She doesn't say it was trash. Imagine if she did.
Oh yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. The restaurant
So-
would be.
Yeah, but how's he gonna do this? How's he gonna maneuver this to be true to a food critic, to being a food critic?
So just like I started out stitching and my face on camera, and I have evolved to where I am, Keith's gonna have to evolve also, and he's gonna have to learn what his new format is. I think that he's right on the cusp of having outgrown us, where it'll be all national brand deals from here on out, or like he's working on pilots with TV networks, and
That's so cool.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
neat.
once that happens, I'm sure his content will take on more of like a Brooke Ashley Hall style lifestyle,
Yeah, get ready
when they
with
move
me.
to the nice house and the kids are growing up, like it'll be more about Keith Lee's life and less about like the salmon small plate at Pepper Club.
Taquitos. Or
and
what
I-
are they? Wonton.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and I think we'll all enjoy that transition because at the root of it, we're watching because we find him enjoyable. But I think that's the direction it'll go, is he'll get away from doing these kind of mom and pop shop because it creates more of a frenzy than anyone can handle. And yeah, so I think he's on his way out of our sphere. I think he's headed for much bigger things
stuff,
than us.
yeah.
Like Food Network, diners, drive-ins, and dives type stuff.
Oh, that'd be so fun to see him do that. Wouldn't you watch that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's headed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hope
in a
so.
crazy way, it's still almost at the beginning for him. We're
Very,
just talking about
very
early
beginning.
December.
Yeah.
All the growth happened. I mean, he went through 2020 he started, and then he got 1 million in 2022. Was that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And he
yeah.
went through 2022
Yeah.
with now he's 10 point something.
Yeah, it's just
Crazy.
under 11.
We're gonna listen to this next year. He's gonna have like 100 million, or
Yeah.
you know.
Right. Unbelievable. And then, sorry, I kind of lost track here.
Oh no.
We kind of covered all the topics. I don't know.
What else
Yeah.
there is to say?
We have a little bit of extra time, so wanted to get your opinion on a couple of things. Instagram says they're going to start charging. You can start charging people for the blue check mark, $12 a month, and they're going to start in Australia and wherever. What do you think about paying for the blue check mark?
Well, because I can't get one.
So you want it? Yeah,
I've
I
tried
get it.
So no, I won't pay for it. But I like that. Like the minute Twitter made it to where anyone could buy it for $8, like my anxiety went way down because it's just like, who wants it now?
Yeah,
It doesn't
Right.
mean
exactly.
anything.
Yeah.
It's like if Hermes was being sold at Walmart, like now it doesn't matter. But I have tried everything, including multiple appearances on a national TV show,
Too bad.
representation, hundreds of articles, and I get told no. I have a direct contact at TikTok who does blue check marks, and they're like, no, you just don't pass the test. So
What?
I think that we're going to demystify it by allowing everyone to have it, and I think that's great for people like us.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay for it either. And it's just going to
But
start.
don't. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
it'll be
once we get
cool
it.
to not have it at that point.
Right, that's true.
Because everyone will look at your account and be like, did she buy it? Or
But
did
can't
she
you
earn
tell
it?
that some people buy it anyway?
Oh,
I've looked at
definitely
accounts. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a bot.
yeah.
Because people could buy it for, we said it before, for $7,000. Like you said on your previous
Yeah.
podcast.
Something like that.
And I was hoping that people that bought it would be a different color.
Wait, people can buy it for $7,000? I'll do that.
Yeah, between 4K and 7K, apparently that's the...
Send me that info.
You want it? Yeah,
No,
you would
now
not
they've
buy
made
it. I
it
can tell
like,
you.
I didn't know you could buy one. I had check marks everywhere.
You know, it's going to start at $12, and then it's going to end up being, what, $50, $100 a month, like eventually? Like,
Yeah.
how much is it going to be? How
Different
much are you
colored check
willing to
marks.
pay?
But the minute they dilute it and make it to where
not
like Bob's Burger Shack, like,
Yeah.
like
point.
it needs to be something exclusive. And once they make it not exclusive, it won't matter anymore.
What do you think about it?
I
Would you
mean,
do it?
I think maybe restaurants will purchase it, but I think that's about it. They claim that they're going to give more customer support and some other
Reach,
things
more
like
reach.
security to your accounts. But
And reach.
yeah, I don't think the blue
Oh,
check
wait,
ever
reach?
mattered to me.
I'll pay for
They'll put you on the Explore page.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding? I'm going to buy it. I've just decided.
What are
I'll
you on
do
that?
it.
I'm in.
All
I
right.
know it's hard not to do it. Like, it sounds interesting, though.
I didn't buy it on Twitter yet.
But then what if you stop paying?
Right.
So your check mark goes away. So you're going to have to pay for it. Once you start, you got to pay for it forever.
And then do the Kardashians have to pay now? Like,
No, I think
what's the-
everyone that has
what's-
it.
You're grandfathered into the blue
I
check
saw
mark.
Elise Myers comment on the,
I love Elise Myers.
I don't know how to say his name. Mosseri? What's his name? From Instagram. Moseri, yeah. So she commented and she's like, wait, does that mean like I have to pay for my check mark? And he replied to her and it was like, no, like you already have a mark, you're good. Anyone with existing check marks, like never have to pay. So
Interesting.
that's the goal. The goal is to get a legit one seal.
Legit
Never
Right.
going to happen. Good luck.
I mean,
I
Radio
mean,
Heather,
I've tried. I've
Yeah.
done everything.
We're gonna keep trying, Jen, because once you do it, then
I've reached out to every PR firm in Vegas, and they're all like, "If you sign up, we will see." I'm like, "No,
don't do that.
not
or
falling
the
for
news
it.
channel person that submits all the news broadcasters. You know, they only have like 300 followers, yet they still get a blue check mark.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's the thing is,
Right.
and it's like Radio Heather, like it. Love Heather, but like in and of itself, she's not a celebrity. But because she works for an official station, they were able to provide her with the paperwork. And so I've been working hard to try to get lip smacking approved because as their social media manager, I'm hoping I can just piggyback off that. I guess my 1.5 million followers isn't good enough. But can you tell I'm bitter about the check mark?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at
I
all.
told Drew that Unlocked, and he was like, "Why do you care?" And I was like, "Because I can't get it."
That's why.
But if you work for an organization that's checkmarked, in which case I guess Heather works for like a massive entertainment conglomerate, and she's part of one syndicate of that, she was able to get checkmarked through that. So I'm gonna apply for a job at somewhere.
Used to be an intern.
Just to do it.
Technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Heather mentioned on her podcast that she submitted like a one sheet instead of the driver's license that had the license, but all the like a bio?
She submitted like every application or publication she's been on, so that's
Right.
what helped.
All on that one sheet instead of submitting just the ID.
Right.
I haven't tried
So
that
they
yet.
click
Well,
on the
I
links.
still do the one sheet
You've
too.
done
Do
that?
you guys not have that?
No.
Like a bio one sheet or a media kit one sheet?
I submit all my media and links and stuff like that. But when Heather got it, it was much easier to get. It's much harder now.
Yeah, it keeps getting harder, doesn't it?
The TikTok application is almost impossible to get. You can only get it if they reach out to you, which they don't really do. Or if, like Shoe Lover 99, Ophelia Nichols, she had 7 million when she got verified. Like,
Wow.
Like, and it just happened like 2 months ago.
Wow. When did Keith Lee get verified?
He was verified because he was a fighter.
MMA.
Oh,
Yeah.
has he always been?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, he got his from his fighting days.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I have the TikTok application because I'm hosted, and which means I have a rep that I can reach out to and say, my video was taken down. Can you help me out?
Well, that's so nice.
And if you ask them, they'll send you the application, and it's the same. It's like, please list why you think you should be verified, all of your media, what authenticity issues you're dealing with, because they're very quick to say that verification is not to make you cooler, even though it does.
I mean, obviously.
Verification is to make your account appear authentic to prevent people from being like scammed or harmed. So I've filled it out, and you can apply every 30 days. I apply every 30 days like clockwork, and every 30 days they write back, just no. Yeah.
Just keep going, Jen.
Yeah, they're like,
Just
we
keep
hope
doing
this
it."
doesn't impact your desire to continue making quality content. I was
Every
like, well,
time.
it does. A lot.
Definitely make me feel better if you did it.
Yeah. So next time I'm just going to be like, I just really want this. It'll make me feel better. And see, maybe try an emotional plea, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get you that info on the 7K thing. I don't know if it's worth it though.
No, I'll buy it for $12 next
Yeah,
month.
exactly. We'll
A
see.
month for now.
You pay for the check mark.
Initially, I was thinking no, because I don't think it would help me.
What if
But
we
I
all
don't
do
know.
and you don't?
No, I think if we all do it, everyone. I mean, if
Everyone has
everyone starts doing it, I'm doing it. I can't be left out.
He's like, I'm in.
Vegas brunch boys?
I don't want to pay for it.
With your one post,
300
your one
followers.
static
like-
image.
Plus blue check mark with vaccine, and I feel like we're having the same conversation.
I'm buying it.
I mean, there has to be some requirements. No, you just pay for it. I'm just
But
kidding.
this podcast was sponsored by Vegas Brunch Boys.
Yeah, so thank you. And Jump Studios, thank you, Jump.
That's the reel
Vegas
right
Brunch
there
Boys.
on Brunch Boys. And then we got a couple more minutes. YouTube, Jen recently broke 100K.
Congratulations! That happened so quick.
Yeah, Lindsay's at 150K.
I went for it because my big kid thinks that like TikTok's weird and IG's for old people, but YouTube is like the definition of cool.
Oh my god.
So I knew if I could get him a play button that he would feel like mom had made it, and he has now decided that I'm a celebrity.
Oh, that's so cool. Did it come in the mail?
No, it's been
the way.
shipped.
Yay!
Yeah,
Oh, he's
so
gonna. You have to,
he's
like,
so
film his
excited. I
reaction.
told a friend recently that I was going to start scheduling viewing parties at my house, so you guys can come over and just look at my silver
check
play
mark.
button and my blue check mark.
together.
I'm really excited.
That's so funny.
Where's your play button?
It's in Casey's office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a cool moment? to get it?
It's pretty. I mean, yeah, but I opened it by myself and I put on my personal Instagram. I don't think I did my.
I
Las
saw it
Vegas
on your
I
IG.
did see it on stories. I don't remember which one.
story on my.
Yeah.
I thought it was personal. Maybe I did on my regular or Las Vegas video.
So I didn't know it was a thing until I saw your story, and I had 3,000 followers on YouTube. And that moment, I texted Donald, and I was like, "I'm getting that
Let's
trophy."
go.
And
You need to go
60 days later, like I started posting 7 times a day. Like I was studying analytics.
Like, how do you do the voiceovers every day? Like, are you doing multiple videos a day?
Yeah, like 6 or 8.
I
yeah.
can't. I don't know why it's so hard. It takes me like 2 hours.
I'm just used to it at this point. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
just
write it
one
down.
take. No, I used to. I don't anymore now.
Which is amazing. Yeah, I marveled
Incredible.
when we were in Miami. I marveled at your work ethic to get everything done. As you did.
Because if you take a
At the
day
day
off,
of.
you feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the race is on to
Take a
see
day
which
off.
one of us gets.
A
What is
million.
it? The gold?
$1 million.
Gold play. It's going to be freaking Drew, man.
Yeah, Drew's at 330K
Dang, is he really?
today.
I think he's using one of those Australian firms.
No, he's using Carl's Donuts. I mean,
yeah,
it's the
that's-
answer to everything.
That's what I was like. Can you get me some of that donut footage? And he was like, well, let's do pizza cones and maybe work up to the donut.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Drew's a
funny.
genius. So I'm
know,
out here
right?
filming
Smart.
mozzarella sticks, just hoping I can get a maple bar
That's so funny.
someday.
I was wondering if you've seen any. I mean, has anyone recognized you directly just from YouTube? Because that's happened to me.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, because people that don't
Ooh.
follow on IG,
Not me.
a lot of people just don't have IG or TikTok accounts.
I get
So it's weird to think.
mostly TikTok.
Yeah.
How about you? You probably get everywhere.
I don't know where they come from, but it's always when I'm in like pajamas at Albertsons with no makeup on, like buying cat food and batteries at 2 a.m.
They heard your voice.
They're like, wait a minute, do you do TikTok? I'm like, absolutely not.
That's not me.
No, if I'm on the strip, I get recognized a lot.
Wow, that's so cool.
And I may have mentioned this in the last podcast, but I take my kids to Kids Quest like once or twice a week because there's like a little Summerlin kid gang. And they all get together and play. And so I'll go work in the food court at Red Rock because they have good Wi-Fi, and the kids will play for like an hour, get some exercise when it's cold. And the lady who checked me in one day was like, we come twice a week, so she knows me at this point. And then one day she very quietly was like, I plan all my date nights off your videos. And I had no idea that because I don't tell people, like, oh, by the way, I'm Vegas Starfish. Like, you give a shit.
Could you imagine?
But she told me, and my big kid just beamed. And he was like, Mom, you're really starting to be famous. And so now I kind of dig it because it makes them proud. And like, they're all I really care about, is the way they view me, because they'll reflect on this someday and say like, wow, Mom took nothing and made something happen. I can do that too.
Oh, I hope so.
So
Yeah.
Super inspiring.
yeah, so that's the goal, is like just to impress the kids. So I'm gonna start paying people to come up to me and be like, oh, can I get your autograph?
I don't think you'll have to pay anyone pretty soon. So
And that's like what it's all about. Just, like the things that matter, right? When we're all doing this, I keep trying to remind people that like what really matters in all of this. Like you got to remember that.
Yeah, it's not the views, it's not the the pennies that we make doing it. We're building something,
absolutely.
and we found a way. It's really hard to make adult friends, and especially someone like me who has social anxiety, socially awkward, and I really just don't like being social. But this has given us a way to connect with people that we would have never met otherwise. Like from all walks of life and interest, and it's cool.
It is so cool. And we've all been doing this for, how long have we been doing it? 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it the other day, pre-kids for all of us. And we're like, we used to go out all the time. We'd go 3 nights, 4 nights a week and just go drink and eat at these restaurants. And it was like the best thing ever. Yeah. Right? And now our circle has expanded so much. And like, I feel like that boom hit in 2020, right? It just went from the same for the 4 or 5 years to but I love the bigger pie. I love that. And I love having the extra, because we've only been to dinner a few times, which is so nice to start that new crowd and the new thing. I don't even know how I got there, but
what's it going to look like when we're all in our 70s
I know.
and 80s and 90s? And
hopefully still eating caviar. Jen.
we'll do the
Drinking
reunion
champagne.
podcast when we're all 70.
But I do feel like it's something that's going to continue to grow, though, because people, and I know we've had conversations recently about how businesses are shifting away from traditional public relations. Everyone's hiring social media now. And as people perceive it as a get rich quick opportunity, there's going to be
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with
That's
that.
like 1 in a million. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a big shot.
They think, well, they only just see what we post and they don't understand the work.
They also, they just think that we go out, eat a delicious steak, get rich.
Yeah, every day.
Do you guys get tagged in fan videos ever? Like where they go do something? No, I shouldn't say fan. People who follow you, they go do something that you do, and they tag you. And the video is great. It's a great little experience. But I'm like, why don't they have a light? There's shadows all over the place.
I sometimes get critical of them.
Yeah.
This was good, but this could have been
Could you
better.
imagine?
Yeah.
So it is true. Everyone's an influencer, but the people who are influencing things are the 1% of the 1%. And it's cool. It's cool when you get to do it.
Yeah. What a hell of a journey it's been, and can't wait to see
where it goes.
Yeah.
I know. What other platform is there going to be? We have, I feel like YouTube Shorts is the newest.
I thought Be Real was going to come on and do something,
Me
but
too.
I think it's kind of...
And what do people even do
TikTok
on there?
kind of took over. Be Real.
Right. Well, I think
Oh,
the
with the
whole
TikTok
premise
now.
behind Be Real is that you only post like candid in the moment shots of yourself. But people learned really quick that if your hair and makeup's not done, you just don't do it.
Yeah, you can skip
You know?
it.
Yeah, just no. Like
did it.
I've
I
never
did it.
seen a now
Yeah.
ever. You guys all post your nows and it'll send me a message and be like, Las Vegas foodie just posted a now. Do you want to see? And I'll be like, yes, I do. And I click it and it's like, you have to post a picture.
Yeah.
It's like, I just lost interest.
Yeah, forget it.
I will never know what you did.
I do it sometimes because I want to see.
Yeah.
But the TikTok now, the difference is they do video, and the Be Real is just a picture. I mean, unless they updated it.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone. Still a picture.
I don't know, but I never know what
video.
people are doing now. I'll never ever participate because it's always when you're like on the couch eating Doritos and
It's not,
you know,
it's not the opportune
it's
time.
never when you're at an event with professional hair and makeup. Never.
Never, ever. You should do a get ready with me, though.
Going back to that.
I would love to see it, or like a day in my life, even a couple days a week, because you're always on the
People
go.
would love to see
Yeah.
that. I think the public just to be privy to the inside.
And how
You would
busy
think
you
that
are.
you
How
would-
busy.
You know, I think that we all think that our followers would care, but at the end of the day, we would get so many comments that are like, "Just show us where to eat." Like, no one cares where you got your nails done.
Maybe
Jen.
you're right. Maybe
Like,
you're right.
Or I'll get comments that'll be like, "Nice video. What hotel should I stay at for my son's 21st birthday?" And it's like,
And you cry just now.
yeah.
And that's not a bad question, by the way. I just want to say that, but it's really difficult because there's a lot more questions that go into that one question.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, I always tell people, I'm like, I have a guide that breaks all this down for you. And then they're like, why are you just trying to sell me something? I was like, because I don't know. Well, first of all, yes, I am trying to sell you something. I worked very hard on that guide, and that is how I feed my children. And secondly, there's not a linear answer.
Right.
Like, I don't, like, what do you want to do when you're here? What's your budget?
What's your budget?
Like,
Is my first question.
do you want like a chill hotel with good food, or do you literally want to not die at night? Like, is that your goal? So
no to circus or
right, exactly. Like, there's
right.
different
Hang out
tiers.
in the back parking
like,
lot.
right, if your
Yeah.
budget is
Don't hang out in the-
$70, the answer is much different than if it's $700. So.
That's very true.
All right. Well, people got places to be.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was awesome. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much
Really
for having
appreciate you.
us.
Yeah. And yeah, see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Las Vegasville podcast. For more information about me and where I've been dining recently, check out my IG and TikTok at Las Vegas Phil. Feel free to text or leave me a voicemail about anything you want, 702-551-4445. Stay tuned as a new episode of the show debuts every Monday morning.